Good day, my name is Madeline Nascendino from the Group 5 of CPE 107L Section B2, and in this Lab 6 vlog, I will be doing an SR implementation of a shift left and a shift right register. This vlog will be divided into 4 parts. First, we will talk about SR flip-flops, their behavior based on its truth table, and then we'll also be talking about shift registers. Then, we will be implementing our very own SR flip-flop in Logisim, also a left shift and a right shift register. The fourth part of this vlog will just be a cooler implementation of that with a buffer. So, flip-flops are 1-bit memory cells. So, tinawag siyang SR flip-flops lang kasi nga R stands for reset and S stands for set. So, let's look at its truth table. When S is set to 0 and R is also set to 0, then it retains its last state, so it serves as a memory. However, when S is 0 and R is 1 naman, it resets the output to 0. If S is 1 naman and R is 0, then it sets the output to 1. However, when both of them are set to 1, then it will give us an unpredictable result, so therefore it is undefined or indeterminate. Looking at the gate level of an SR flip-flops, ganyan yung itsura niya. As you can see here, meron siyang additional input na clock. So, the clock tells us when our flip-flop would be operational. So, any input that we modify if the clock is not turned on, then our flip-flop will not function. So, edge-triggered yung flip-flops. Pag sinabing edge-triggered, yung pataas at pababa lang na cycle dun sa clock natin siya magpa-function. Okay? So, later, lalagyan din natin ng clock yung ating Logisim implementation. So, as you can see here, may dalawang output naman. Yung Q yung present state niya, and then inverse lang yung Q prime. So, register level naman dito, may kita natin yung itsura ng flip-flop sa mga schematic diagrams. Ano lang siya? Box lang siya, tapos mayroong input dito. Although this looks like asynchronous siya kasi wala siyang clock. Synchronous pag may clock. Okay, so let's talk about registers naman. Register naman, simple lang, tropa lang ng mga flip-flops. So, if a flip-flop can store 1 bit, then registers can store n bits. Depende sa'yo kung paano may design yung register mo. Mas marami kang ilagay na flip-flops, mas marami siyang isostore na mga bits. Pero, same lang yung input nila doon sa clock. Okay? Next naman is the shift registers. So, shift registers naman, ano to? May dalawang klase daw. May shift left at saka shift right. Pag shift left kasi, the data shifts to the left or umuusod yung data to the left. Pagka shift right naman, syempre pa right. So, if it's shifting to the left, then it is actually increasing in number or multiplied by 2 kasi nasa yung most significant bit. Diba nasa pinaka-left? Pag binary, base 2. Kaya multiplied by 2 siya. So, pag shift right naman, divided by 2. Kasi, least significant bit na yung nasa pinaka-right. So, kung yung data umuusod to the right, then nababawasan siya or lumiliit siya. So, yun yung pinaka-comprehensive way to understand shift registers for me. So, now we'll be implementing our own SR flip-flop in Logisim by following this diagram over here. Meron din naman siyang NOR version tsaka NAND gate version, but I prefer to use the NAND gate because it's easier to remember. So I've already prepared a file for this, and then our professor instructed us to use gates instead of IC na lang to avoid errors in Logisim. So upon setting our clock to 1, then our SR flip-flop should now be functional. Let's try setting our output to 1 by pressing this set button. Yan. How about the reset button? 0 dapat. Yan. So if I turn both of them off, then it just retains the previous state. What about if the clock is turned off? Any modification that I do with SNR won't affect the output because our flip-flop is not operational. Now that we are done implementing our very own SR flip-flop using the most basic logic gates here in Logisim, we will now be comparing this component with the built-in SR flip-flop dito sa memory folder natin. So let us do that in a separate circuit. This is the component that we have created. As you can see, it's very blank. Nilagyan ko lang siya ng label na SR. And then, meron dito tayong tatlong inputs and 2 outputs. And then, ito naman yung itsura ng built-in SR flip-flop in Logisim. As you can see, mas maganda siya kasi sa schematic diagram, ganyan talaga yung itsura ng input na clock. Pagka-synchronous siya. And then, naka-display na agad yung memory na hinohold niya, the memory cell itself. So, sa ngayon, 0 pa lang yung value niya kasi wala pa tayong nilalagay na inputs. Now, what I would like to do is to implement a shift left register using our very own component and also this built-in SR flip-flop. And then, we'll be comparing their differences later. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. So, by inspection, makikita natin na itong dalawang 5-bit registers na to. 5-bit kasi 5 flip-flops yung nakalagay. Parehas lang sila ng connections. Kung left shift register to, then yung output nung nasa rightmost na flip-flop ay nandoon nakakonect sa input nung katabi niya to the left. Kasi nga, shifting left dapat yung data natin dito. Pinagkaiba lang nito, implementation, ay meron tayong nilagay na probe so that we can know kung ano yung currently na hinohold ng data ng ating personalized SR flip-flop. Pero dito sa baba, wala na kasi yung built-in ng Logisim, meron na agad siya naka-display sa gitna. So let us now simulate. So let's try muna itong built-in ng Logisim. Set the value to 1. Mula dito, mag-move ang data to the left. So, it's shift left register. Behavior. Okay, paano naman pag-reset? 0. Tapos try natin mag-set in the next cycle. Yan. Para magkaroon ng pattern. Okay. It's working well. Pagka naman 0, 0 lang, dapat magiging memory lang siya. Okay. So, naging memory lang siya. Retains the last state. Paano naman sa ating ginawang flip-flop na register? Yan. So, as you can see, meron tayong problem. Kasi sabi nung mga probes natin, lahat sila nag-1 agad. So, hindi to shift left register. Kahit yung reset button. So, yan. Hindi shift left register kasi hindi nagmo-move yung data natin from the rightmost flip-flop to the left. So, therefore, meron tayong kailangan pang additional na gawin kung kung gagamitin natin yung ginawa nating SR flip-flop sa isang register, shifting register. So to solve our problem here, we will now be implementing a cooler version of this register. So in this part of the vlog, I'm already starting to implement a shift left register using the SR flip-flop that we created. So for this to happen, kailangan parang magiging kamukha siya nung D flip-flop, no? Kasi yung isang input natin dito pupunta sa S, tapos yung isa pang input sa reset naman, i-inverse nun. Pero SR pa rin yung ginamit natin na flip-flop. And then, as you can see there, meron siyang mga errors na nangyayari kasi hindi pa natin in-enable yung ating clock. So, yung nasa rightmost flip-flop na output, yun yung magiging input nung nasa left na katabi niya. So, yan. Yung buffer naman yung mga flip-flop sa baba. Okay, kinapi ko lang yan para magawin yung ating shift right na register naman. Tapos biniligtad ko yung ating mga flip-flops para yung connection kamukha pa rin nung sa left kanina. Dire-diretso lang. Tapos blue siya. Siguro error lang ni Logisim, pero mamaya i-restart ko naman to tapos gagana naman siya. Medyo nakakalito nga lang to, no, kasi bumaligtad yung flip-flops. Therefore, baligtad din yung pag-connect ko ng mga wires. So that is the shift right. So upon restarting Logisim, I noticed na nawalan na yung mga errors na blue kanina. Although meron tayong mistake dito sa nagawa nating shift right kasi naduling ako dahil nga bumaligtad siya. Dapat yung Q output natin dito or yung present state output ay mapupunta sa S na connect ko doon sa R. So baligtad. So we can now simulate and enable our ticks. At mawala yung error, and then the initial value will be 0 kasi wala pa tayong ginagawa dito sa ating input. Okay, let's see if the data will shift to the right if I turn this on. Yun na. Pag naka-off, dapat 0, tapos 1 ulit, 0 ulit, 1 ulit. Yan. So, we now confirm that our shift right register, 4-bit register lang kasi hindi nakasya dito sa size ng ating Logisim, is working properly. So, ganun din sa ating shift left. Yan. We try the input. Okay. So that concludes my Lab 6 vlog. Thank you very much for listening.